Welcome, it's Sneaker Talk family. Hope you're having a great Friday, wherever you're watching from. This is going to be a good one. Get your seatbelt on, lock in. It's going to be a good one. Chris Weathers, and a special guest host, none other than, I'll show you in a second. Let's add our guest host on first. And we will add our special guest on. How's everybody doing? What's up, Lucas? Feeling better?
Yo,
What's up, man?
what's up, brother? How are you?
Yes,
What's up,
so
Lucas?
none other than DC23 or DC23. Excuse me. What's up, man?
Having a day, man. So many things going on right now, but glad to be able to make some time for this for sure. What's up, Vince? What's up, Lucas?
Shout out to you, man. Thank you for making the time. Man, if you're hearing noise in the background, I just got a new dog.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I got a new dog. And so
You're,
I had
you're gonna have to show that at some point. You can't just talk about a new dog and not show it.
He's actually in the kennel right now. And I made a mistake by giving him like a thing that makes noise while I'm doing the show.
Yeah.
Bad decision. It'll be all right. Hey, really quick, let's go ahead and add Chris on because I know you are on a time schedule, so I want to honor that. Let's add Chris on. Chris, we're adding you on right now, my friend. All right. Perfect. Hey. Oh, that's that. Chris, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all?
Good. How are you, brother?
Pretty good.
Dang, you didn't hold back. You got the big jug. That's a man
Hold
jug.
on. Hold on.
I feel bad. My little flavored water. He's got his like man jug.
You know, you got to stay hydrated, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying, but not as well as you.
I'm pulling out my gear right now.
Oh, man.
Every time you take a drink, Chris, I'm taking a drink so I can feel a little more manly about my water bottle.
Hey, I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Oh, for sure, man. We've been looking forward to this. I was actually talking to DC before the show. He's like, "Hey, how did you meet? Chris?" And I was like, honestly, he came on the live. Like he reached out. He was like, "Let's do this." I'm like, "All right, let's go." Hold on. Just took a drink.
Trying to keep up. Making a competition, dang.
But man, thank you for making time to be on the show with us, man. I'm looking forward to hearing your story because you're no longer just like when DeCarlo Smith says you are an OG. Like in my book, like you might as well have wrote the sneaker book because I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say.
Listen, I don't know about all that, but, you know, I know a little something.
Hey, one thing I noticed today, though, was your post. I told Anthony, I was like, okay, I don't know Mr. Chris, but I like his style. I like the fact, I mean, you put what, Matumbos up?
Yeah.
Like not, okay, there's like, I love a lot of the shoes that are coming out, but like, I love it when I know somebody's not just a hype beast and they're like actually love sneakers. And you don't put that sneaker up without actually loving sneakers. So that that made me excited to talk to you today. So pretty cool. Where'd you get those?
Oh, man, I've had these pretty much since they came out. They came out again in 2013, so
Okay.
just hanging around since.
All right. Like who even made them? Like I don't even know who that shoe was from.
It's an Adidas.
Okay.
He was signed to them back in the 90s, so.
Yeah, but there's like no Adidas logos that you could really see very clearly. It wasn't like big three stripes, was it? He's rocking the Adidas today too.
All right. What's up, everybody?
It's three stripes here. I guess technically these are the three stripes.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, I see it. It's just a little bit more discreet.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah. It says it's real inconspicuous on the back. So they work kind of like, you know, Jordan, after a while they stopped putting a Nike on it. So
Right. But that was a cool pair to see. I was like, all right, this is gonna be sweet. This guy's not just a hype beast. He knows he's got some history with sneakers, so that's cool.
We have two sneaker historians on the show. I'm along for the ride.
I'm just a sneaker nerd over here, man. That's all.
Chris, I'm gonna ask you some questions just to get the audience to know about you, and I personally want to know. Just a couple questions. Like, I gotta give you some good ones. All right. We've been asking everybody this that comes on, so let's ask you this. What are your top 3 songs right now? What are you listening to?
It's probably not gonna be anybody else's. So right now I've been listening to a lot of Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
So
okay.
Okay.
Rhiannon would be one. One on One by Hall & Oates has been getting a lot of play.
Oh, okay.
And if I had to pick a third, it would probably be Last Day on Life After Death, where it's Biggie and the Lox.
Totally different there. All right.
Yeah.
That's quite the mashup.
I used to be a record store manager, so I'm really into music.
Okay, nice. Where at?
It was a locally owned place when I used to live in Cleveland called CD Game Exchange. I used to, be there for a while.
Is that where you are now? Or are you out in Cleveland?
No, Cleveland is where I'm from, but for the last year and a half, I've lived in North Carolina in a little town called Mebane.
Okay.
So you live like LeBron. Okay.
No, he's LeBron and Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Double goat.
All right, let's ask you another question. Favorite movie and why?
Favorite movie? Probably Friday. I mean, I've seen it a trillion times, and it's still funny every time. Lethal Weapon 3 would probably be a close second.
Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. What about you, DC? DC?
Favorite movie?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm like one of those people that like I love to go watch a movie really big, like all those Marvel movies and stuff. But like the movies that I actually watch on repeat are all weird. It's like Nacho Libre, Joe Dirt, like all the quotable movies. Like it's ones that make me laugh. Like I'm not gonna watch a movie twice unless it makes me laugh, and it's gonna be all those weird ones that have all the dumb quotes. So yeah.
My favorite movie is Remember the Titans. Man, that's
a good one.
So I always, if you need a quick inspirational, you don't get no blood on my uniform. We need, like I love that kind of stuff. All right. I love Denzel. Shout out Denzel. If you want to come on the show. But what's your favorite TV show and why?
My favorite TV show is Married with Children.
Really?
Yeah, it has been since I've been like 10 years old. I mean, it's just a lot of the humor went over my head when I was a kid. And obviously, as an adult now, I get like, wow, that's really what they meant right then. But
yep.
It's just it's bonded me and my two best friends. Like we're all the same age, and it was just a show that we just thought was hilarious that we probably shouldn't have been watching, but
yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch that.
No,
I like the theme song though.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, I would have never. Okay, so what do you talked about like the humor and everything, but what else like stood out to you? What made you want to watch that show?
I felt like even though it was episodic TV, it was more realistic than a lot of the other shows that were out. Like, I watch a lot of Family Ties. I mean, that was a really good show. Growing Pains was a good show. Family Matters.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah, I love it.
None of them were like Married with Children, and it was just so different. And Al Bundy is, dope.
But it was the same thing, but more for like the adults. Like, like we had Urkel in Family Matters and, like all the kind of like picture perfect families that had goofiness. And then Love and Marriage, or not Love and Marriage, but Married with Children was that whole like for the adults kind of thing, like kind of how Disney throws in all the adults for jokes and you get to like appreciate it totally different later. And I feel like the in between was like Home Improvement. Home Improvement kind of like was in between TGIF, like, or the whole like, perfect like Huxtable kind of stuff going on, and then the like, yeah, the man, I want to call it Love and Marriage. What was it called? Married with Children.
Marriage.
So yeah, like
Making his own.
all those families, you know, like that's what our TV was growing up for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm gonna ask you one more question, Chris. Ooh, I got a good one. What's your favorite comfort food?
Burgers and fries.
Oh. Well, from where? From
Wow.
where? From where?
Honestly, my wife makes the best burgers and fries, and she doesn't make them that often because I'm one of the weird people where I can eat the same thing every day. You know what? I'm gonna switch that. Spaghetti.
Ooh. Really?
Like my wife gets tired of me. I'm like, can't you just make spaghetti? Like, right now, I'll probably be like, can we get some spaghetti? You know what I mean? That's my food, and it sucks because I really shouldn't eat as much of it as I do, but I do. But
My
burgers,
mom used to make spaghetti with no meat.
No, you gotta have meat. You gotta have meat.
It's still not the same. I mean, if you know what, it worked out well once. My wife did vegetable spaghetti. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not the same though. It's not the same. That's not the same.
I didn't realize spaghetti didn't have meat. I didn't realize that wasn't normal until I went to my friend's house and they were like, "Where?" I was like, "Why is there meat in spaghetti?" And they were like, "There's meat always in spaghetti. What are you talking about?" I was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, never mind." Now as an adult, I understand. Sometimes you gotta make do. But yeah, guys, give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, I just saw that QC Kiki Cutie joined, and that was one of the little episodes of yours that I watched, and I was loving the shoes you guys are bringing up because it wasn't just all the hype beast shoes. You guys are going back, like way back with some of those shoes and unique colorways and like all that stuff. So I just knew, I was like, man, I really definitely want to hear more about your story. So
QC Kiki Cutie is the perfect female sneakerhead. If y'all don't follow her, y'all should.
Okay.
She's one of the best out there.
Nice, man. I believe it because you guys are both showing some heat for sure. Yeah. I like that episode.
So Chris, tell us how your sneaker journey started, man. How did you get started?
I was a weird kid in the late 80s drawing sneakers on my folders and stuff like that. I just have always liked shoes, but I always say it really started for real with the Black Infrared 6 in 1991. I was in the 4th grade, and my dad came home from work. And he had the 6s on his feet. He had the Air Jordan short set. He had the hat. He had the bag. He had the whole kit. And I had the 5s. I had a few Jordans before, but those were like the first ones I ever wanted. And I was the only kid in my school with them. And I never forget how that felt.
Yeah.
Really paying attention to my shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a feeling I never wanted to not feel like. So that was kind of the beginning of it, where that was the first shoe I ever wanted.
You wanted people to bring out umbrellas because it was a bit drippy?
Hey.
He saw Dad and he was like, dang, Pops got it. Pops got it. I want to be like that. That's awesome.
It was a good day.
That's awesome, man.
So your dad was like a big sneakerhead?
Yeah, for his time he was, but it was all kind of coinciding with my dad used to play a lot of basketball intramurally. Him and his friends would rent out gyms, and we had a hoop in our backyard, and he was using them for function, but he always would match his hooping clothes together as well as his regular clothes. So I kind of got that from him. So I'm like times 1,000 or something like that. So
yeah, that's cool.
Sneakers now. So
oh really? Mm-hmm. So I like where it's going. Your style, because you have a very unique style. What's most important in your outfit? I know you talk about the shoes, but are you matching the shoes with the shirt? What are you trying to do when you're pulling out a pair of shoes?
Well, I always want the shoes to be the focal point of what I'm wearing. Yeah, it's been times where in the past I might have on for instance, I still have a lot of old stuff from back in the day that I probably shouldn't. I still have a Jeff Hamilton jacket with all the NBA logos on it. you got to wear that with like a plain shoe because
Yeah.
it'll get overpowered by the jacket. So I always choose to be the focal point of that. And my wife, she always is kind of critiquing, like, you know, she'll really look out. She's also a perfect sneaker, female sneakerhead as well. But she won't let me go out the house looking crazy. She'll be like, "Nah, you do that instead of that." You know, I'm glad that she's there for me for that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, how long have you guys been together?
Since 2010.
Congrats. Whoa, congrats. Congrats, man. Congrats. Hey, I've heard her do some podcasts, man. Great person, man. And so, especially she's keeping you in line as far as not letting you walk out of the house looking crazy.
Line in general.
I know. Trust me. Mine's in here.
There was this one pastor out here in Southern California, Pastor Miles McPherson, and he said, "Yeah, the man's the head of the household, but the wife is the neck. She can make that head go wherever." Like,
Right. Oh, she said thank you. So, you know, you just talked about Jordan's influencing your sneaker journeys, especially with your dad, seeing your dad wear that outfit. Like, what about the Jordan made it stand out to you? I know you talked about going to school and people seeing it, but what else made it stand out about to you?
Well, 90-91 was the first year I really followed the NBA, or I was really watching it and knowing, you know, what was happening. Before that, you know, I was just, even though we're from Cleveland, my dad and I have been following the Lakers since before that. So the Lakers have always been my team.
Sorry, I'm struggling right now, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're actually about to come on in a little bit. They might lose to LaMelo and the Hornets. But, you know, let me just say this about the Lakers right quick before I go back to that. Anytime it's a bunch of free agent signings or acquisitions all at once, it never really works out.
No.
It worked out with Dwight Howard and Steve Nash. It didn't work out with Peyton and Karl Malone.
Malone, yeah.
You know, unfortunately, it worked out with LeBron and AD when they won in the bubble, but
bubble's completely different.
Yeah, I don't feel like people really give that championship the same validity they would have otherwise. But I don't know. I still have faith in them. You know, I haven't got a Lakers tattoo, so I love the Lakers.
Where?
It's on my arm here. You know,
What is it though? Just like the logo?
It's just the regular logo.
Okay.
So, but 90-91 was really when I started watching basketball, where I was watching whole games and knowing kind of what was going on. And, you know, that was the first year the Bulls won the championship. I mean, it's really the only time I can take watching the Lakers get beat. But it was the Bulls' time. And even though Magic was still playing and Worthy was still playing, that wasn't really Showtime. That was like time remnants. So I can live with them not winning that championship, but it all just kind of coincided, you know, where I was starting to really pay attention to basketball. You know, between that and the product placement where they would be on shows. I mean, everybody remembers Will Smith wearing the 5s in the first season of Fresh Prince, but he also wore the black infrared 6s a couple of times too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So was a big deal too. You know, if you were around in the 90s, you saw people on shows wearing Jordans.
Oh yeah.
True. And DC, if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask them. But I want to talk to you about, because you said you're a Lakers fan, so let's talk about the legacy, because it just recently passed, the legacy of Kobe Bryant. You as a Lakers fan, we'll talk about what he did for the Lakers, but also talk about his sneaker impact. And what are your thoughts on his sneakers?
Well, I'll just say for the impact on the Lakers before I get into the sneakers, because the sneakers will be longer. Kobe and Shaq, with them getting both of those guys at the same time, I mean, nobody knew Kobe was going to end up being what he was. But that was the Lakers finally rebounding from, you know, losing Magic to the HIV, getting Kobe and Shaq 5 years later. So that kind of kickstarted that, and glad they were able to get, you know, 3 championships and then get the other 2. You know, you don't get those without Kobe, you know. So, but as far as sneakers, I mean, he brought Adidas back to basketball because Adidas didn't really have a marquee player since Mutombo. So they got him, and then they got T-Mac the next year. And roster. They had Keyshawn Johnson for football.
And Derrick Rose.
Yeah, that was a little bit down the line, but yeah. They had, because even before D Rose, they had that little period where they had KG, Tim Duncan, Gilbert Arenas, Chauncey Billups. They all had little PEs and little shoes, but that was kind of short lived,
Yeah, because when I think of those guys, I think of like flight posits.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like KG and Tim Duncan in particular.
Yeah, because their Adidas models are really forgettable, but we remember those Nike. So
yeah.
Oh, man. But sneaker-wise, I mean, people like his Adidas now more, I feel like, than they did when they were just out. Because I think
we're about to like a lot more again. I think they're going to be coming back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this year there's supposed to be a lot of Kobe's.
Yeah.
A lot of T-Max, too. News hit today, they're about to bring back all of LeBron's PEs when he was at St. Vincent St. Mary.
Oh, I saw that, yeah. All the like green and gold ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They brought back ones before, but they never brought out the other two shoes, so they'll all come out together. Try to grab some of those when they, hopefully they hit sale. So, but, me, Kobe really started getting looked at sneaker-wise when he was a free agent in 02-03. One of his best seasons, but, you were seeing him wear everything but Adidas. He wore all kinds of Jordan PEs, other Nikes. Yeah. He wore and ones. He even wore the Converse weapons for a couple of games. So he wore everything but Adidas, and then once Nike gave him the 30 or 40 million they gave him, the rest is history.
Yeah. What do you think about what Nike did? Because you're in the sneaker retail, but tell me what you think about Nike's kind of doing him, in my opinion, kind of dirty with the sneaker and his family like that. What do you think?
Well, you can go back to the beginning of Kobe had just came off of 3 championships, but they gave LeBron twice as much money as him. You know what I mean? Starting off. But I always felt like it was kind of hard to market Kobe even before the trial, because everybody wanted to be like Iverson and Steve Francis, McGrady, more street kind of guys, Yeah. Where Kobe, if Kobe would have came along a little sooner, like when it was still like Jordan, Magic, Bird era, he would have been everywhere on everything. But I feel like Nike never really got Kobe right from the beginning. They let him do the low tops thing, and that part was good. But I mean, if you look at it compared to how they marketed LeBron, and even at times Vince Carter was still having shoes. I mean, do y'all ever feel like he really had a strong presence in the market?
No, I don't. That's why I
don't. But I do think that he had the better shoe. Like if you play in LeBron's versus playing in Kobe's, I would pick Kobe's over LeBron's to play in, and because LeBron doesn't even like to play in his shoes. Like he's always picking different shoes that aren't they always have to change them because they make them too bubbly or you see his PEs and they got lower pressure, everything's smaller. So actually picking a pair of shoes to ball in, I thought that they paired him up with Eric Avar, who is made the foams and the flight posits and all these legendary shoes. And so I just think that they did him I understand what you're saying marketing wise, but who has the better actual playable sneakers for basketball? I would go Kobe's all day over LeBron's.
I feel like it depends also what kind of basketball you're playing because it's a big difference in indoor and outdoor. I feel like better for inside, but LeBron's are better for outside.
Okay, yeah, for impact protection and a long day of play for sure.
Because I like when I was playing basketball regularly, I like for my shoes to be kind of low to the ground. And I was actually with QC Kiki Cutie earlier, and we were talking about the Hirachi 2K4 because she used to hoop as well. And that was the perfect shoe because it was a mid-top shoe, but it still felt like a low top.
But Kobe wore that too, right? In that time?
What's that?
Didn't Kobe wear that shoe as well in that period?
I feel like that would have just been the Kobe one if he wasn't going through his situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he was involved in the design process for that. And I don't want anybody to get me wrong. I love Kobe and I collected his shoes, but I never felt like he was really marketed as strong as LeBron or even KD at certain points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So, and I feel like once he passed on, I don't really feel like Nike really knew what to do with his line beyond the Pro Tros. You know, like those ADs were hard sells, but they were also really, really expensive. Like I always say, even with LeBrons, more people would wear LeBrons if they weren't $200.
Right.
You know, so.
But you can always get LeBrons on sale because everybody waits till everybody knows that's going to drop on LeBrons. You don't get LeBrons like right away because they're going to drop $50 or more in just a little bit. You just wait it out. So.
Most of them, not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in Cleveland, LeBrons are a dime a dozen. Even the rare ones are kind of easy to come by. But, you know, it's still, for the most part, you are right. Like, since I've been in North Carolina, it's a lot more outlets and Nike branded stores here than there are in Ohio. So, yeah, they're deep in the outlets. I mean, Paul George and KD are 1 and 2, but there's still a lot of LeBrons.
Okay.
Paul Georges are everywhere.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But he started.
What do you mean by 1 and 2? Like Paul George and KD, like as far as like sales or?
No, as far as the amount that you see in the outlets.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know.
I think like Giannis's Freak line is joining that too because they always got like crazy colorways in the outlets of the Giannis's because it's a budget shoe as well. So. Yeah.
But it's unfortunate they weren't able to come to any agreement. But I don't think that that's going to be always a thing because there's still so much money that can be made there that I feel like they'll be able to do that. But I really feel like even before he passed, the Pro Tros were doing well, but obviously they sell more now. I still don't feel like they knew what to do with Kobe's line then. Before. So.
Sorry, I was reading a comment from V Weather SHR. Is that your
his wife?
That's your wife?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Yeah, her comment. I need them to end PG's line. Dang,
it's tough.
Called it out. Just called out the line. I have to agree with her though that a lot after like the 2s, they just got ugly. But I don't know.
I don't know what they're going with.
What's that?
I don't know where they're going with PG's line. Did you see the most recent one? Not the ones that are coming up pretty soon, but it had like the heel part almost went this high up off the shoe, so it's touching the back of your ankle, like back of your like.
Oh yeah. Like it's like a triangle.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's terrible.
See, I like
fortunately though, it doesn't bother your ankle or your Achilles like that much, because I have a pair. I made an ID pair, and they're not that bad because they go kind of out. Yeah. No, the main selling point for that shoe though was the fact that it had a Kobe 9 bottom. Like that's the only reason I bought them, was because it had a Kobe 9 like outsole. So it wasn't even the fact that it was the PG. Like I thought the shoe was ugly, but then I like made my own color and I was like, okay, cool, I can deal with this.
I actually mess with people. My wife always talks shit whenever I come with any, but you know, I don't have any PG5s, but I have 1 through 4. There's always been one color where I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. I guess
not too bad, yeah. But it's crazy what a colorway can do for a shoe, man. Colorway can totally ruin a shoe or make it so much better, and that's what's so cool about Nike ID or Nike by You is the fact that like I'm like, oh, I can fix this. Like I can make this to where I want to wear it, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, DeCarlo's on. What's up, Mr. DeCarlo?
What's going on, man?
DeCarlo is the one who let me know. He was like, hey, Chris is the right one. You got to get him on here. Shout out to DeCarlo.
Appreciate that. And thank you.
Hey, we also know that you are in the sneaker retail. So tell us a little about your story as a sneaker retail. And I think you've been at Hibbett's. And from our research, I think at Hibbett's, you're at Converse now. Talk about like the sneaker retail, and also I want to hear your thoughts about where you think the sneaker retail business is going, because I walked into the mall I was in where I live currently, and it seems like stores are leaving, like sneaker stores are leaving like nobody's business, man. So what do you think?
I mean, it's, you know, I can't say. I mean, I've been in and out of shoe stores since 2003. Worked for Foot Locker for four different times. this place called Villa, which has now been bought out by DTLR, so it's just DTLR. I worked at this place in Cleveland. It's locally owned, but it's the only Tier 0 Nike account in Cleveland. It's locally known as Next, but nationally everybody calls it Exhibition. So if you all have ever been to exhibition.co, I used to work for them. And then Hibbett Sports, and then Converse. The way the game is now, I mean, it changes every 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
It changes every 2 or 3 years. Like I always go back to Hibbett, where with Hibbett, that was 2018 and 2019. You still had Heat coming out, people call Heat, but the urgency to get it wasn't quite the same. So that's been a big change post-pandemic. But I don't know. I mean, each situation has been different because of the time.
Yeah. What do you, as a sneaker works in sneaker retail now? Like, where do you see it going? Do you see more brick and mortar still staying, or is it more people are just like, I'm gonna buy everything online? What are you thinking?
Yeah, in fact, you probably asked me that. I didn't answer that part. I apologize. It's hard to say because it all depends on how the world is going to go itself. I mean, the world still isn't quite the same since the pandemic started. So there's been more and more people shopping online. So it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen there. Sneakers aren't recession proof. So, you know, it's just kind of tough to say. I mean, I would like to say more brick and mortar stores come. That's kind of our era, going in, looking at the shoe and touching it, trying it on before you buy it. But
yeah,
I don't think that there's one answer for that. I feel like as a current Nike employee through Converse, I feel like Nike specifically is more direct to consumer. So they're still opening stores, but they're still coming out with more and more product that you can only get online or you can only get through them. So that's what I think it's going to be like in the future. And Adidas does the same thing with the Confirmed app, and they have consortium accounts, you know, which is like their Tier 0 accounts. So to me, these companies are going to be more direct to consumer, where they're going to be less middlemanning, but I still think they're still going to have enough product for the brick and mortar to be there. It's just not going to be the product that the three of us would want.
Mm. Yeah. You know what I hate about the Confirmed app is the fact that it's called Confirmed, and then it'll like pop up on there that it's like confirmed. I'm like, oh, did I get the shoe? Oh no, it's just the app title. I'm like, man, like it just like tricks me every time. Like I didn't get it. Like,
I hate that you have to wait so long to know if you won. Like, why you gotta wait? Why you gotta wait an hour or two to tell me if
yeah. Oh man, all those apps except for Hibbett's. Hibbett's has been one of the ones that I've actually had the most luck with. Is actually Hibbett's, more than sneakers, more than Confirmed, all that stuff. So, just interesting.
Hey, when I was still with Hibbett, I was with Hibbett when they rolled out the digital raffles. When I first started there, we were still doing the raffle in the bucket. So, you know, I'm physically pulling that.
There you go.
Somebody I best would come in. It's like, all right, you know what I mean? I would look out for people. But once that rolled out, I mean, it changed everything. But at the same time, it's still, I'm sorry, I just hit doing cartwheels upstairs or something. I don't know what. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh man,
that was that dad look too. Was it?
I know.
Yeah, my bad. I don't even know what I was saying. My bad.
You're talking about the Hibbett's raffles.
Oh yeah, but we used to have to enter the raffle, you know, like customers. You know, I mean, it wasn't like after that digital, we had to do everything like that. So it's no easy way to get the shoe, you know, even for the employees. So that's something that's different, you know, sneaker retail that kind of changed. I always say the Adidas Yeezy ended first come, first serve, and people lining up. That kind of ended that. People wasn't feeling like people could be in the store. It was going to be a safety issue or whatever. So I kind of miss those days where you could just line up.
But then people get out of hand when they line up now. You see all the videos online. I mean, they did back in the day too. But it's just like more in your face of like the ridiculousness that people get into fights over sneakers and all the stuff that the stores are having to do too, with like destroying boxes and making you wear your sneakers out of the store. Like all that kind of stuff is just, it's like getting crazy. Like if they try to go back old school, it's like out of hand. Like, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah. I mean, people used to get out of hand. Like I could tell y'all some stories about some previous releases had to run that were out of hand, but
I want to hear one.
You want to hear
Gotta
one?
give us one.
Yeah, we're here for story time for sure.
Come on,
Okay.
let's go.
Well, I'll say this: 2013 was the worst year for sneaker releases ever for management, because you had so much that came out that year. You had the Bel Air 5s, you had the Taxi 12s, the Fear Pack, the Grapes. It was still decent foams coming out back then. The Nike basketball shoes were still really designed back then. So every week it was something new. But the worst release I think I did was the Taxi 12 in 2013 Christmas. The Gamma came out a week later, and it was hectic, but it wasn't as hectic as the Taxi. So I had people fighting. There was people fighting in front of every one of the stores in the mall that I was in just for places in line. So I understand what you mean about, the hecticness, but to me, that's on the mall. Like, where the security guards at? Where the cops?
Don't break.
No, they got somebody in line for them, so they're not gonna like tell on them. It's one of their people in line fighting for their spot. That's what's going on.
That's no, like it was so bad. The mall management was like, "Yeah, you can't sell the shoes."
Oh man.
And I'm like,
What?
Out today? What do you mean I can't sell the shoes? And they were like, "Yeah, you can't sell them. You're posing a risk." And I'm like, "But it's 4 other shoe stores in this mall. Like, why are you saying I can't sell the shoes?"
Mm.
And even though Next,
were you at Hibbett's or Foot Locker?
This
like,
was when I was at Next.
Oh, okay.
This was I was there from 12 to 17, so I was there probably the longest of any of the shoe stores.
Yeah.
So that was when resale was real, but it was still first come first serve because it wasn't Adidas Yeezy time yet. So it was rough. I mean, I ended up selling the shoes anyway, but for locally owned, I had to call the owner. This Jewish dude named Rob. He's like, "What do you mean you can't sell the shoes?" I'm like, "Man, I can't sell them." So I ended up selling them instead of at 8:00 in the morning. I had to wait until like 10:30, but it was a Taxi 12. I mean, we were gonna sell out of them regardless. I could have sold a week later, and they still would have sold out.
Oh yeah, it's classic.
But yeah, I got some stories. I mean, the Gamma 12 that came out after the Gamma 11 and the Taxi I told y'all about. I had 70 people outside of the store, and the shoe was late, so I didn't have the shoe. So fight me, "What you mean you ain't got the shoe?" And I'm like, "We don't have the shoe. It's not here yet. It's got, late shipment. I mean, what you want me to do?" So, I'm threatened for Jordans, and people talking about what they're gonna do, and I'm like, "It's just a shoe, bro." Like, I can't make the shoe. What you want me to do?
Right.
Yeah, people, but every week in that specific year, 2013, it was some bullshit. Fucking Bel Air. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a family show. I'm not supposed to be. I'm sorry. You did say every week it was some foolish.
Hey, the feelings were real, man. The feelings were real. We get it.
Like, we felt when Bel Airs came out, I had to run in the store when I'm letting my employee in. And I had to like damn near chest bump him to get him back. Like, man, hold up. No, guys, man, y'all play games. I'm like, it's 7:30. We won't open until 8 in the morning, man. How long you been up? It's foolishness with every release. So yeah. But yeah,
that's actually early. 8:00 for retail. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, after the 2011 Concord, I think they moved it to 8 because it used to be midnight.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
After that, it changed to 8. So
yeah, where Anthony and I grew up, there's some fights at the Galleria Mall back in the day. My mom wouldn't let me get in part of any of that stuff. I also wasn't going to pay that much for a pair of Jordans back in the day, so it wasn't happening for me.
Now, when did you start collecting?
Start collecting?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't really, like, I wouldn't say collecting until I could afford it, which was like past, I don't know, like 2008. like collecting. My shoe was like the Nike Presto, and I was still until like I graduated 03, and until I could actually like make some money. Or no, I mean, I guess when I first joined the Coast Guard, I would like get my like Presto or like some Flight Posit or the signature player or whatever back in like 04, like 03 to probably 05. When I got that paycheck, I was getting a pair of shoes from East Bay, but it was still more the clearance item, or the special. Not until like 2008 could I like really afford my own shoes. So, but yeah, probably like as soon as I could afford it is when I started collecting. But then when I moved to my house where I'm at now, I think the movers stole a box of my collection, like my main sneakers, and that kind of bummed me out for a few years. And then I just started like a few years ago, kind of like getting all my like stuff that I wanted from when I was a little kid back again. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
You brought up the Air Signature player. That is the worst.
It's one of my. What's that?
That's one of the worst basketball shoes I ever played in. I rolled my ankle.
But it's one of my favorite shoes because of what it meant to me, though. Like for me, that was my first version of like a foam because I couldn't afford a real foam. So like to me, that was my first foam. So that's like if that shoe re-releases retros, like I'm like first in line. Like that's my shoe because that was my first experience with foam.
I would cop it. I just would never try to hoop in it again because I
oh, I would take it straight to the court because I'd be like, oh man, just like the nostalgia of wearing them again. I'd be so excited. Even if it gave me blisters, I'd be playing in them for sure, like straight away.
My wife had put in the comments there. It just happened when we moved down here. We had movers. They stole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just wrong, man. Like you just take like, and to me, I'm like, man, if you needed to steal my sneakers, like it was a dirty move, and I like I don't know, if you needed them that bad, then I guess you took them. But it just stunk because there was a couple like Nike ID shoes in there that were special to me, and just like, come on, man. But whatever, like nothing I could do about it. It just bummed me out for a few years, and I didn't start collecting again for a bit because I was like, it just kind of really bummed me out.
I understand. I mean, I was fortunate when they stole a bunch of my Vapor Maxes that I was kind of like, they were expensive shoes, but I didn't really care about them. The only came up missing in our move was when the Concord came out in 2018. I was with Hibbett, and my wife had one pair for me in the Hibbett raffles. Like I told y'all, we used to have to raffle them. Like, and
you had to get in too.
Yeah, I never used to hit, but my wife used to hit for me on Hibbett, and I used to have to print out the tickets of people who won and place them on the box, and I had like the printout ticket with her name in the box, and they stole the pair that I wear and left the dead stock pair.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted that. I wanted to, just have two. I mean, you got to have two pairs of Concords. They have such a short shelf life in general because of the white metal.
The yellow and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and people are like, well, you can just clear it up. You can clear it up, but for me, I'd rather just have a whole nother pair.
Right.
So, but the moving, that's tough. I know how you feel with that, man. I was frustrated just the same.
Yeah. It's not like, it's an investment collecting sneakers. Like it's, and especially when you get those pairs that are super hard to get again. And I'm like, man, I'd really like to have that back, but I'm not paying $500 for it to get it back. Like I just got to be patient and wait, So
I mean, like you've been copping, like for real, you said since 08, like, so you remember how it was. The game was still halfway pure back then. Like,
yeah.
So if you're used to a shoe being, say it's the Air Force One. Air Force One Premium in 2008 might have been 110, 120. But that same Air Force One, you try to go get it, $500. It's like, come on, man. Sure, $100.
Yeah. Well, Air Force Ones, not the premiums, but the regulars, like they've always been under $100, But that's never really been my shoe as much either. Like a lot of the shoes that I get, like that's the conversations I've had with like Shulius a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with Shulius, but like we're just always going back to what we wanted back in 96 to 99 that we couldn't get. Like that's the majority of the shoes that like or not even that, like 94, 95 to 99, because there were just so many shoes I wanted as a kid. And every time, something from that era comes back, like announced the Zoom flights today, I'm like, I want those shoes so bad. Like I've wanted that shoe forever. So
Shoeless is one of my favorite sneaker people.
Yeah.
I do plan on getting that Jason Kidd as well. I was too stupid to retro in 2015 because we had it and I wasn't selling it, and I'm like, it'll be here, and I just never got them, and now I need them again. So
yep, same. But then there's some of them too, though, that I'm like, man, like everybody's gonna like. I remember too, everybody coming to school and all having like the same shoe, you know, and everybody had like the latest release, whatever. But because I couldn't afford it, and because like I don't know, it's like I already felt different because I couldn't get it, and so I got used to getting weird colors. I still kind of like getting weird colors, so it's like the Zoom Flight's coming back, and I do want that color, but I'm like, man, I kind of want to wait till they get like another color too. But you also can't wait and risk it because you don't know what you're gonna actually hit on, so you always got to try.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Where did the name ShortyC94 come from?
It was just a fake rap name I made when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I came up with that name in 1994, and I just kind of have always used that as my username. Probably Nike Talk.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you also got like, what was it, Nike LaFleur Maine as well. You got quite a few handles.
It's just there's a play on. I remember when Gucci Mane came out. I'm like, his name is really Gucci Mane.
Okay.
Myself, you know what I mean? And it's just some just being silly.
Okay, I like it.
That's funny.
I like the roots too, like where it's coming from. Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
A little bit of hip hop.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about this. Like, what when you and your wife met? Was she into sneakers already, or what was it like?
My wife had some footwear. You know, she had a couple things. You know what I'm saying, when we met. Yeah, I'm like, all right. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just something that just kind of built over time, and I've always appreciated her wanting to kind of veer to the left of what all the other, you know, females was rocking at the time. You know, like one of the Jordans she used to wear a lot early in our relationship was the Stealth 23. You know, a lot of people don't wear Jordans beyond, you know, 14. Well, I really want to say 13, but some people actually do rock with the 14. But yeah. And then she had a period of up until maybe about 4 years ago, she was real runner heavy. You know, a lot of Adidas Boosts, a lot of the early Vapor Maxes. She was really into the 270s, so she's all over the place. You know, with some of her kicks. So she's always kind of been like that.
Well, sounds like she likes comfort. Like that's where that probably comes from too, right?
Yeah,
those comfy kicks.
Comfy, and she would always also manage to get like a color of a shoe like that I don't have. Like, for instance, for whatever reason, I've never been able to get the safety orange Air Max 95. Really? You know, just like neon, but with the orange instead. Like, I've never been able to get that one. I have like every one but that one. And, you know, the fact that she has it, I'm like, well, at least it's in the house. But, you know, I really wish I had it. And she's had that pair since like 09. Like, and they still, you know, are in really good shape. So she has a couple shoes I kind of wish I had still.
I like that she's adding to the conversation in the comments. She said that you definitely elevated her collection and that she picks comfort over everything is her motto. So yeah. she knows what's up. But what are you guys like? Are you guys like Julius and Faith, where you guys got like a sneaker room, or do you guys keep the collection limited, or is one of you guys like has a bigger collection than the other? Like what is it, since there's only one sneaker nerd in this house, and that's me. And I don't call myself a sneakerhead. That's fine if you are, but like, what would you say?
My wife has a lot of sneakers. A lot of sneakers, but I've been collecting myself since 96, 97. So I have a larger collection, and there are literally sneakers all over the house. Different parts of my collection are stored in different places. So, you know, it's it's something that, you know, it's just kind of grown. You know, sneakers, you know how it is. I mean, you get one pair, you get two pair, then you got 20 pair, then you got 200, and you know, it just goes. So, but yeah, I definitely have a larger collection, but only because I've been collecting a little longer.
Okay.
Your wife
Yeah, so
said the majority of the house. The truth comes out.
Well, I will say my half of the garage, there's an extra room that's just full of sneakers. I have a closet for just the Jordans, and then there's other areas too. So
yeah, I know. Like in that conversation you had with Kiki, is that her name? Just
yeah,
Kiki? Okay, yeah, yeah. So in that conversation that she had, she said something about like I only have like 4. Like people were dropping like their 5 collections, and she was saying she only had 4 of the 5. So I'm like, I can't play with these guys. Like they're on a whole other level. I'm like trying to get like, you know, 1 or 2 pairs of my favorite Jordan, and like she was saying, you know, and you just said right now you have just a Jordan section. So yeah, that's another level.
yeah.
What would you say in your collection is like what do you have like the most of? Like, is there a certain line that you prefer? Like, is it Jordan? Is it LeBron, Kobe, whatever? And then like, what is like kind of your favorite of that top collection?
Okay. As far as one single silhouette, because they're my employer and I've really kind of bought into it. Right now, I have more Chucks than anything else.
Okay.
As far as one single. Before Converse, it was the Dunk. I have more Dunks than any other one silhouette.
And that's why you and DeCarlo are friends.
He has a lot. But I don't really have a line that I like more than another. I'm like equal opportunity with the shoes, and I try to wear as many different brands as I can. I mean, I have to wear Converse a certain amount, but I mean, I just like everything. The only brand I really don't have is I don't have any K-Swiss, and I don't have any LA Gears, but I've got British Knights, I've got Asics. I mean, just everything I try to put my hand in a little bit.
LA Gear is what I always got instead of the Jordans and instead of the pumps. I always got the LA Gear version because that's what my family could afford.
Hey, it's good. Them silhouettes in the 80s, early 90s. I would rock if I could get my hands on them if they bring them back.
Yeah, now I would love to have some of them. Like I mean, that's what I wore all the time when I was a kid. Was my LA Gear pumps. Never got to get the Reebok.
Oh, I remember those. They were called the Regulators. I remember those.
Yeah, they had a couple different versions actually, but yeah, LA Gear definitely had, you know, their pumps and their lights.
Yeah.
So, but I never had lights. I just had pumps.
Gotcha.
Because the lights didn't give me that same feeling that I could jump higher.
Yeah.
No,
but
they were heavy.
yeah. But I will say, you know, to answer your question even better, certain collections, I mean, Jordans are Jordans. They're always a pillar of everybody's collection. Everybody's got a lot of Jordans. But I'm really into Nike basketball that's not Jordan. You know, shoes from the 80s and 90s, Barkleys, Pennies, Pippins, Paytons, David Robinson. Like, I like those shoes a lot, and they mean just as much to me as a lot of the Jordans do.
Okay. Same era. So
yeah, because I play basketball. So
yeah, for sure.
I respect that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, one thing that's interesting about me though in my collection is I feel like because I wanted foam so bad that I like to get foams in like whoever's making a foam, you know, like a LeBron that has foam, or Knit Posit, or the Barkley Posit, the Chuck Posit. Like, and like I said, as soon as if they ever retro Flight Posits again or signature players, like I'm on that. Like, I just really like the thought of foam, even though it can get hot or whatever. But I don't know. There's something about the foams in the fact that I couldn't get them because they were so expensive when I was little, that any foam they put on any Nike basketball shoe, like, I want to try it out.
So since you brought up the signature player again, I do have to ask, what color of them did you have?
Black.
You had the
Black.
all black. Okay, that's the pair.
Yeah, all black.
I used to want the gold ones. You know what I mean? I thought the gold ones
were
cool.
And the blue foam, like posit looking ones, but they were like shinier. They had kind of like, all of them kind of had that pearlescent, like kind of like metallic flake to them or something. And it sounds so stupid and weird, but like my favorite thing was just running my fingers across that little wave. Like it felt cool.
It still had
like butter.
I remember Paul Pierce used to wear those.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of guys wore them. I actually just watched Like Mike with my kids, and it's like one of the main shoes in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, one
like there's tons of signature players in that movie. So
yeah, you actually made my day bringing those up, because that's the fact that it's such a pivotal shoe for you, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's not the same good memories, but I did have that my ankle. My right ankle's never.
See, mine was like the opposite too. Like when I was in the military and I was getting my East Bay shoes, most of them were Prestos, and I played like basketball in Prestos, which is the stupidest thing ever. Talking about roll your ankles, but then also tear up the shoe because it's so soft, you know. But then I got those signature players, and I was like, oh, these are tough.
Right outdoor.
So it was a tank shoe.
Hey, I want to ask you this: what outside of sneakers, like what do you enjoy outside of sneakers? Well,
spending time with my lovely wife is number one. But
I threw that one for you. There you go.
I mean, that's for real though. She's like, you know, one of the best friends I ever had. You know what I mean? So we do have a lot of fun with sneakers, but I'm a Nintendo nerd, so I have every single Nintendo game system ever created in this house. So I'm not like a huge gamer. I do have a Switch, but our son is like the gamer. So he could be on there for hours just playing Madden or playing live, just with it. I'm like, man, don't you want to go outside or go somewhere? On it, you know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, I really like watching old TV from when I was young, you know, just old sitcoms. We just got a Samsung TV last week, and it came with like these channels that had nothing but like old ass TV shows on it. I'm sorry about the cussing, man. I really am.
Go ahead.
Old TV though, so that's another thing. And you know, I enjoy watching sports, and making content.
Yeah, I want to talk about your YouTube channel, like, cause I love how you have so many different shows. You have Shorty Sneaker Conversations, Certified OG, Purchase or Pass. Like, what made you want to start making content?
It's something that I've been doing for a while, but now it's fun because, you know, it's including other people. I thought that would be cool instead of it just being me, you know, just talking about stuff in one perspective. I've had to kind of redirect the direction of my YouTube channel because, you know, when I was in other stores, you know, we would get the shoes in advance. So I would be able to do a review on the shoe months before it came out without having to, you know, buy it. Because it's like, oh, well, like at Hibbett, we used to get shoes like a month in advance. Couldn't sell them until release day, but I would be able to get the reviews out before a lot of the other sneaker YouTubers. And now, since I don't have that access to a lot of these shoes, I've had to kind of make it about different kinds of content. But the main purpose of Shorty's Sneaker Conversations was a lot of older dudes that are in the shoes tend to be gatekeepers and, you know, don't want to let the young people in, let women in. My show is kind of showing the opposite of that, where I can talk to anybody about sneakers, you know. Purchase a Pass is something I also used to do on my own on my YouTube, but it just wasn't hitting like it does with my wife. And, you know, Reach Back, the show I do with QC Kiki Cutie. You know, we like finding old shit that people don't know what they have for cheap and just shop it. And Certified OGs is me and Stuntman Stokes, and we're just talking about things from an older guy's perspective, but still giving props to the youth at the same time.
Yeah. And respect for that because.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying.
Respect.
So, like, one thing that I saw that you guys do is that you go thrifting as well.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like you guys get some pretty good deals going thrifting, and that's not something like I'll go. Thrifting to me for sneakers is Ross and Marshalls and in Burlington or whatever. I know that's not thrifting, but I just don't think too that like around here in Southern California, there's like a lot of people taking shoes to thrift stores as much as they are going to like a reseller, because people are pretty aware of the value around here. Whereas like, I don't know, I feel like you guys have had some pretty good luck. And you were saying something too in one of those episodes about like finding something at the thrift store for over $30 is too much. And I'm like, dang, that sounds crazy, finding like cool classic kicks for under $30. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, thrifting, closeout shopping, which is what you were talking about with TJ Maxx and Ross and Marshalls.
Mm-hmm.
That and thrifting hasn't really been the same since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry about that. But it's, I guess thrifting, it depends on where you are. See, I thought that since, because you're in LA, you guys are in LA.
No, I'm in like Riverside County. It's called Marietta,
Okay.
and then Anson, Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, like it depends on where you are and what you want when you thrift. Like I've found Jordans and signature kicks for less than $30, like in good shape.
That's crazy.
But it depends. Like I had easier time thrifting in Cleveland than I do here.
Okay.
Cleveland is a little more urban. People know about value now, so a lot of those finds aren't like how they were 3-4 years ago, and even before that. But it really just depends on what you're looking for as well. Like you can still find nice vintage, clothing pieces, but then it depends on your size. Like I'm fat, so I can't fit a lot of vintage stuff. But finding stuff in the 2X has been difficult in the South, where at home I could find it, pretty easy. But as far as the kicks, the thing with thrifting is when you find something, being able to tell whether or not it's beat or whether it's just really dirty. Because sometimes you can find something that's just dirty. Like one time at home, I found a pair of the De La Soul highs, the second version, the white, the design. I found them at the Goodwill for like $10, and they were just covered in dirt.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So,
$10? That's insane.
Yeah, this was because those came out in 15, so I found them in like 17. And the worst thing about them after I cleaned them up was they were kind of oxidized, but I don't care. I don't mind yellowing and stuff like that. So, but I found like the Jordan 1 Unsupreme that sort of looks like the Supreme Dunk. I found those for like $12 at a regular thrift store. So it's a lot of stuff. Look, you can find now with the closeout, because Nike isn't as they aren't producing as much and they're doing more direct to consumer. I don't see as many Nikes and Converse at places like Ross and TJ Maxx like I used to before.
Right.
But that's
because even 2 years ago I was finding so much more like good hooping shoes like KDs and like Curry's and all that stuff. But now it's like you're getting all the Polo and RBX and like it's just nothing there anymore. And then every once in a while you'll find a little piece of gold. But thrifting, I just haven't had any. The only thing I've had luck with thrifting was finding like unopened like basketball cards from like the 90s, which that was cool. And I've traded boxes of those for sneakers, which is pretty sweet.
All right,
that's good.
I'll tell you the craziest 2 thrifted finds before we go to the next question that I've had. And I have one and I don't have one anymore. So like I told y'all earlier, LeBrons in Cleveland are like dime a dozen. One time in the thrift store in my actual neighborhood, Shaker Heights, I found some Gloria Zoom Generations. Now they were her size, so I used to just display them at shows and stuff. but they had the promo tag and everything. They were just some white and pink Zoom Generations. And I mean, I found them for like $5 or $6. A more random
My
find,
goodness.
yeah. A more random find was I found a pair. These are definitely on display with all my Lakers memorabilia. I found some size 17 Nike Shop certifieds that were made for Lamar Odom.
Whoa. What town? Where at?
This was in Cleveland. I don't know why
In
they were there.
Cleveland.
This was years ago.
Okay.
I found these in like 2000.
Yeah, because that would have been like in Denver or something you would expect, right? Like
Yeah,
or New York.
yeah, you know, or well, they were when he was with the Lakers, so it would have been out, you know, where you are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they were made for him. They have his logo on the side and everything. I mean, they're upstairs. If I was upstairs, I'd show them to y'all. You know, they're probably a little, but yeah, I've definitely found some stuff over the years thrifting. You know, oh, one more. My OG neutral gray Jordan 1s. I found them in 2008. $2.
What?
Where?
$2. They were at this store in Cleveland called Thriftnique. They were at the bottom of a box of neckties. They were like hidden, but they were $2.
What?
Somebody hit 'em.
$2. And what do you assume the value is on those now?
And the condition they're in, because I don't have the box. I mean, because I still wear them. I probably could get $1,200 for them.
Wow, for $2.
Yeah,
$2
$2.
to $1,200. That's nuts.
Now again,
And okay, people keep saying Plato's, and Seth Fowler talks about Plato's too. I have never seen a Plato's closet. Like, I don't know. Do you have those in Georgia, Ant?
I think I've seen like.
I don't
Lori,
think
do you
I've
play?
ever seen-
I haven't seen one in a while. It's like every time I go in there, all the shoes are beat to death. Like,
But then Seth Fowler is like showing all the heat he gets there all the time. Like, what is this place?
no, I mean I've had a lot of luck at Plato's Closet too. I call that fancy thrifting. But,
Okay.
Yeah,
That's probably like Buffalo Exchange out here. We got a place like Buffalo Exchange like that.
My wife actually brought these down. So yeah.
oh,
Yeah, these were like $20.
Is that the signature or the PEs?
Yeah, the Odom.
Oh, okay. You said Odom. For whatever reason, my head, I thought you said Mellow. That's why I said those other locations. Okay, I was like, I thought he was always Jordan Brand, but now it makes more sense.
Yeah. So so size 17. I mean, obviously I can't wear these, but these are on my mantelpiece with all my other Lakers memorabilia, some autographs.
That's crazy.
Some other stuff.
Crazy, yeah, to have a PE, some Shocks, and so the Shocks, like I had a pair of Shocks back in the day, but now they just came out with those. One of my newest pairs is the GT Jump, and it's like what they wanted the Shocks always to be like. Like that's like an actual shock feeling shoe, whereas the Shocks just kind of hurt.
yeah, we did. I had a pair. They hurt my feet so bad.
Yeah, Shocks can't be.
But you had to have a pair.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Plato's Closet and this other, depending on where you are, this other place called Uptown Cheapskate. They have a lot of shoes. I mean, I've had a lot of luck with Plato's over the years. You know, there are more of them down here. I shouldn't say there are more of them. They're better down here than they are in Cleveland. There's only one really good one in Cleveland. But you're talking, like the best thing I found at Plato's Closet were my, I found some LeBron 8 samples there in Akron that were like a friends and family. They were a LeBron 8. They were black and red, but they were a V2. The black and red V1 is what released. So I got some LeBron 2 samples from thrifting in Northeast Ohio, like Chris too. Yeah, bronze are a dime a dozen. Y'all ever make it to Ohio?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense why they're there. It's like people getting Jordan. Like one of my buddies, he's got every Jordan you want, like because he used to live in Chicago and had a plug, like so he has everything. Like dang, got to be in the right area.
Before he passed, a lot of Kobe's, like all the Kobe's I have, maybe 20 of them were thrift. You know what I mean? So Kobe were always around too before he passed.
Right. And it's crazy how much people want to like just sell junky Kobe's now that are just complete trash for like $500. I'm like, come on, man.
Mama mentality.
Like, I get it, but I don't. No way.
And see, even with the OG ones, like people would look at me weird because with Kobe, I didn't really care about him if he didn't wear them.
Okay, like
You know,
kind of Jordan 1 through 14s.
yeah, like I only have one pair of ADs, and they were a thrift. Fine, you know what I mean? They were Kobe ADs, but yeah, and even in certain colors, like for instance, Kobe was injured when it was the Kobe 9 Christmas in 2014. A lot of the Lakers wore them, but it doesn't mean like the Kobe other Kobe's that he wore, you know, mean.
Right.
So it's just colorways too.
Right. Yeah, like one of my favorite pair of Kobe's. I can like I don't know if he ever wore them. They're the Kobe 9 Bruce Lee's though. I'm like, I can't find any pictures of him actually wearing the Bruce Lee's colors.
Nah, those were cool too, with all that yellow with the red loop.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite shoes, like by far. It's like I love this shoe, but I can't hoop in it because it's too narrow.
Yeah, Kobe's would be a little narrow.
Yep. So, but then the ADs fit me better, and his budget line. So that's the ones that I actually play in.
Yeah.
So they're like a different fit.
Yeah. Kobe's budget line is the closest to his actual shoe to be.
Yeah, but then they're like a wider toe box. So like I actually play in those a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, I know you got some heat you want to show us, and I can't wait to see it, man. So show us some of the heat, but just make sure we're ready because I know this is a fire alarm. Put the fire alarm because we're about to see some.
Get the umbrellas out. Drip.
Yeah. What do you see? I have a few shoes here. I know you gave me the category. What'd you say?
I said when a sneakerhead says I have a few shoes here, you know they got like 10 lying across the floor.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the most random shoe here first.
Okay.
So, because I did a sneaker battle last weekend, so I had some shoes laid out and I added some more to it, but I'll start with this one here. This is the Zoom Flight T-Bug. This is Tim Hardaway's shoe. It's kind of like, it's sort of like a takedown version of the glove because it's got a zipper. And
okay. And it's got that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the. It's Zoom Flight 1.0, but I don't think it's as much zoom as the glove. And it's just it's from 1998. I've had it since then. It's just one of the most random shoes that I have. So,
what size is that?
This is an 11.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So how tall are you? Because you made that shoe look tiny.
Oh, it might be because this shoe is just so
big. Okay, yeah. the Odoms.
Yeah. So,
that makes sense.
I'm short. My size.
Okay.
11.
I'm short too.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. You showed that other shoe before, so that one looked.
Take up the whole picture.
Yeah. Yeah, to fill up the whole thing down to like fitting in frame.
Man.
But yeah, it's interesting how it had that like that same sort of like design as the gloves.
Yeah.
But you had to like unzip to find that before.
Yeah. What could I show y'all? So this was used in the battle. I have my original Jordan 10s with the toe cap.
With the toe. Okay.
You see the bottom, the Jumpman is blue instead of red, like on most steels. So
yeah, show Ant that again. Did you know about the Ant? The toe, the toe cap. Like that little toe cap thing too was not on all of the shoes.
I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, they changed a few things with this OG. Apparently, Michael Jordan didn't like it. That's why only this colorway came. Mm-hmm. The only other Jordan that came with the toe cap were some of the grade school, toddler, and preschool Shadow 10s. So
okay. Sometimes, man, the kids and the women, they get some stuff that like I got to, especially if it's a women's size, I just got to go buy a size 11. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna wear that.
Next, I'll show y'all my Air Carnivore. It's a Trent 1993. This is a retro pair from 2010, but this shoe was my holy grail. It's the shoe I paid the most for because I have an original pair, and then I ended up retroing them like 4 years after. So
there you go.
Because I paid like a tenth of what I paid for the original pair when I bought these. So,
Mm.
but yeah, this is just, I love this shoe. It doesn't have any laces, and all the rich kids had them when I was in 7th grade, and I wanted.
But that's like a trainer and a Jordan 8 combined. That's an interesting shoe.
Yeah, it's from '93. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's that same time. It's definitely something I think Tinker created.
He was so into like all those straps and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna show y'all
and the pattern.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna show y'all my favorite Kobe 3.
Okay. Yeah.
People call this the Orca. I just call it the Blackout. You wore it during the road games in the 2008 playoffs and finals when he wasn't wearing the Hyperdunk. So I wish I had more of these. I only have 2 colorways of it, but yeah, it's my favorite Kobe to wear.
Can you show the outrigger on that thing, like that on the bottom? Yeah, like that's something they do on the Mamba series. Like they really have that very pointy outrigger that they kind of carried over from that shoe, which is interesting. But it gives me confidence to play in. Like it's a good shoe to play in, having that like stability.
Yeah. See, I was really hoping that they pro-trolled these for everything, because like the 2 and the 3 are my favorite Kobe's. Like no matter how many colorways of these come out, I would get all of them because I love this shoe. I just hate that they lost to the Celtics in this.
Yeah, Lakers fans can't handle that Celtics. That like you can't lose the Celtics, or you're gonna lose to anybody.
I'll show one more because you said one of the things was to show a shoe that was created. So I did make these dunks in honor. I was able to get through on the Dunk by You. The options kind of suck because I made, this is an old Nike ID box. I made these other dunks in 2007 where you could pretty much do whatever. I was trying to make
like those.
Stussy. Yeah, so you know these are 15 years old. I can't believe I've had these this long. But you know, with Nike ID, they need to do something with it because there's not enough options.
Sometimes, every once in a while, they give you a shoe that you'll get a lot of stuff with.
Yeah, I feel like over the last couple of years, the Kyries have probably had the most options, but they need to do better. This was supposed to be used in the last battle I was in, but I didn't use it. The playoff 13. The pair from 2011. It's a 12. Show y'all another shoe I created. These are the V Weathers HR Chucks. I made these in honor of my wife. Mom's got her name and her birth year there. So, you know, I haven't worn these yet. I haven't figured out quite the outfit to wear with them, but it's another shoe.
You like pink, huh?
It's one of her favorite colors. But
okay. You've shown a couple pink shoes, that Dunk and then that one.
Yeah, I do probably, you know, realistically, I probably got about 5 or 6 pairs of pink Chucks. So I do like pink.
Nothing wrong with that. I just was noticing a trend.
Yeah, the pair of Cement 3s. It's the pair from 2003.
Oh, wow.
Not really sure how much more life these have left.
Mm.
You can already see the discoloration right here. But it was a crime that Nike let 2018 end without releasing these like this, not doing any clear bottoms or, you know what I mean, any you know, Nike swooshes. Just give us this shoe like this. You did good with the black. Give us the white.
You didn't need that Justin Timberlake and Tinker collab.
I didn't. Let me show these two. This is another Converse I created. It's I don't know if you guys can see it with the comments and everything, but these have a crackle effect. These are actually in honor of my father. He has an alter ego he uses sometimes. His name is Cuyahoga Johnson instead of Indiana Jones. Cuyahoga is the county that we live in Cleveland. So it says Cuyahoga here. And
there you
go. Here. So just a couple of when I make shoes, I usually make them in honor of people or things. So, you know, like I have a pair of Chucks that's in honor of our son. It's got game controllers all over it since that's his thing. So,
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that was one of the ones that was the biggest bummer for me that I lost when they sold my shoe collection. Was a Nike ID pair I'd made for my cousin and my mother-in-law that had died from cancer. I'm like, man, why'd you guys got to take those? Like, and they were also like Nike Jasaris, which was one of my favorite shoes that I think LeBron likes too, because they look one way going, you know, they look one color one way and then another color going the other way. Okay. And I just always liked that about that shoe. Just looked like he had two different pairs of shoes going on. So yeah, like it's cool what you can do, especially like honoring other people with the shoes. And I like that Chuck pair, that crackle was almost like a elephant print.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, look, let me show y'all just a few more pairs if that's cool.
Oh,
go ahead.
By all means, please do.
So this next one I have is it's a Hyperdunk 2014. This is a Kyrie Irving PE. It's got
wow.
kind of themed off of a notebook. You can see the notebook print, and on the insole, I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks like notebook paper and pencil writing. It says, "Just be yourself."
That's awesome.
Now he
That's
just
definitely.
What's that? That's
definitely a Kyrie thing. If you say "just be yourself."
Yeah, and this was before he started having this. So
that's a sick pair though. I like that. And what did they call those books? Composition books. It's got that like texture on it.
Yeah, it's composition books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna show y'all a couple of random ones. So I have these. These are some British Knights.
Yes.
These are for Derek Coleman. He was a pretty prominent player in the 90s for both good reasons and bad. So this was also in the battle. But my wife bought this for my birthday a couple years ago, maybe 2017. I saw it at it's a store similar to Ross. It's called Gabe's. It was there, and I didn't get it, and then she ended up surprising me with it like a week later. So, you know, on it, I actually posted these and added him, and he was like, "Man, where'd you get them?" I haven't seen those in years. Derek Colbert himself. So
that's awesome.
Wow,
that was cool.
It's always cool to see that the person who they were made for doesn't even have them.
It's messed up.
See those in years. So I'm gonna end the shoe showing for now with two very special shoes. This is the first shoe I ever bought. It's called the Air Zoom Challenge, the Andre Agassi shoe from 1996. I haven't worn these in a couple years. I'm not even sure if they're still wearable, but with my first job, this was the first shoe I ever bought. I can't believe I still have them. So John Stockton also wore these in the 97 finals. But that is a special shoe, and this is my favorite shoe.
Oh, man. Is that an 85?
Nah, it's a 94.
Okay, but still, that's got the same look.
Yeah, I've had these since then, though. Like, I was in 8th grade when my father bought me.
Wow.
And they're 11.5, but they fit like an 11 and a half. So I always have a theory that the shoes used to be made bigger back then. Brand new Jordan 1, I can't do a 10 and a half. It's got to be at least an 11.
Okay.
So everything else I got here is just, you know, whatever. I got a couple Jordan 20s because the dude that was battling me was like, "You ain't got no Jordan 20s." So I went and grabbed 3 different ones. So that's
What do you mean I don't have any Jordan 20s? I got 3 there.
Yeah. So,
I want to hear more. You're making me want to actually go look back at those Agassiz, because that actually, at first I thought it was like the Zoom Turfs.
Well, it's got the same bottom as the Zoom Turf.
Okay. Yeah.
Same.
And is it Zoom Air as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's a little bit of inspiration from the Zoom Turfs, probably, right?
Yeah, I think the Zoom Flight 96, the Zoom Turf, and the Zoom Alpha, which is a running shoe, they all came out together.
Okay. And did the Zoom Alpha also have that like plastic carbon fibery sort of bubble on the side in a different way, or no? Because that's
Now
not really a running shoe thing.
the Zoom Alpha was like it's sort of like the Spiridon's father because it had the same bottom as the Spiridon,
Okay.
but it had
Okay.
it retro.
Yeah, Julius has busted out some Spiridons, man. That took me back to middle school for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm surprised that retro is it's so expensive. It's like expensive.
Right.
Retro.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those where I'm like I think you'd do better if you drop the price.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
I love that. Like pretty much the only thing out of that whole collection that you see like hype beast wise would have been the Jordan 1, but then it's like way older than everybody else has, you know. So as a solid showing. Appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you.
For sure. Well, hey, Chris, this has been amazing, man. I appreciate the fact, like, first of all, I'll say this. I try to talk at least something that I take time, you know, Tari and I and DC take the time to really research a person. And you really get to see more than just like you know, from the Instagram or whatever. But man, like you can see like your passion, not just for the sneaker, but the history, what it's about, what it meant, and from your post, you can almost feel like, man, I'm proud I got these. You know what I mean? And shout out to what you're doing. Shout out to your YouTube. Like you know, keep that up, and also with your lives, man. Because, like I said, as a person who, like you guys, I just sat back and listened because I didn't. You guys were talking over my head, you know. But I was quiet. But shout out to what you guys are doing because you are providing a pathway for, like you said, the next generation of sneakerheads to learn the game from people who have done it way better. So shout out to you for that, man.
Nah, man, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. I appreciate you guys having me on here. Thank you.
Well, I love
Sure.
the connection that you obviously have to your family too, man. Like that's definitely
Yeah.
something that's like the passion for sneakers, but then like you weren't just like talking about your wife to get some brownie points on here. I can tell you actually really love her and you guys share a passion together and that's inspiring. And then your relationship with your dad and like that's just I can only hope my kid talks about me in that same way, you know, when they're older. So that's really special.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, nah, I enjoy following both of y'all as well. You know, hey, it's a life we chose, man. It's good to know, like, this is a life we chose. It's a commitment, you know. But it's good to see other people like you guys doing good in the community.
For sure, for sure. All right. Any last thoughts from both of you guys? Anything?
Well, you know what? Before we go, what's on you guys, both of y'all radar for what y'all are trying to get this year?
You start, Ain't?
Man, I was on a big Yeezy kick for a bit. I've kind of stepped away from that because the way they're going is just I can't wear most of the stuff. It's just like the insulated boots and that's just too much for me. I'm more looking for a sneaker that I know I'm gonna say this. People, I've been on it. New Balance. I've been hitting New Balance and also the 992s. I know they're hype right now, but the 992s have been one of my things that I've really gotten into. And I picked up a pair today from my local sneaker store. I got them on my feet holding right now.
Okay, just playing flea market. Okay.
Shout out to just for kicks. Bought these today, man. And
Nice.
I'm looking for originality. I'm not trying to go with just what everybody else is picking up. Originality. And yeah. So that's what I'm looking at, man. What about you?
For me, I'm always about the reach backs. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be shoes that I want that'll come out this year, but you know, you got to put an asterisk by all of them because you know, with the way things are now, you may not get it. You know what I mean? So, for me, because I wore these today, you know, and I know I've already shown these to y'all. I was like, man, I should look for the other colors. Like, I was looking for the I had to get a vehicle inspection, and it took like 2.5 hours because there were so many people in front of me, even though I got there right when the place opened, that I had time to just look for the other colors. And I need the white and blue and yellow Mutombo in that model there because he wore it with the Nuggets jersey. It'll give me a reason to get the jersey. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Cool fit.
yeah, so I'm more excited about the stuff I may find. The only shoe for this first quarter that I will be upset if I don't get is that white penny one, just because I never had it before, and it's never. So I need those. I need those Jason Kidds. The only Jordans that I really need in this first quarter are those UNC 6s and those white Navy 6s. Those white Navy 6s I had, they came out when I was 20, so I need them again because my pair lasted until 2014 before they just crumbled and broke apart.
So. Yeah, because you actually have had the shoes for that long.
It happened while I was at work. I was on the sales floor and they just crumbled. It just like the shoe exploded. So I had to like buy another pair, some Flyknit Chuckers. I had to buy some Flyknit Chuckers just to finish my workday.
There you go.
What about you, DC? What's on your radar?
For me, I mean, it's most of the stuff that's from that 95 to 99 period. That's like I saw the playoff 12s are coming out. Like, we'll see if I can hit on them, but you know, I don't like really count on those. What I really am trying to do too is I have a lot of stuff that I like. I was actually talking to Julius about this too, is like, I just really kind of want to get like unique colorways or very specific colorways of certain things. So yeah, like the Jason Kidds, even though I guess it's not an official Jason Kidd shoe, but everybody knows them as Jason Kidds. But yeah, like all that stuff, like it's just kind of like getting unique colorways in some of the shoes that I already have. Because when it comes down to it, I got too many shoes. So like when I add something, I have to like give it away to some kid at church or something, and then like put in a new color. Like it's just too many at this point.
There's no such bitty, man.
There's no such thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little, it just feels a little out of control sometimes. So yeah, I'm just trying to really refine the collection this year, like with specific colorways or unique colorways.
Gotcha. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for taking the time to be with us, Chris. Shout out to DC. Appreciate you, bro. The original Sneaker Talk family there since the beginning. And thank you for everybody that took the time to watch. We appreciate you. You can find us here, same place, same time, next week, 7 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Peace. Have a good weekend, guys.
All right. Talk to you later. See you.
Peace.